Never tell people what you do. Focus in silence, win in public. Written by Peter A. Saul, published by Audiobooks LOA. All right, listen up. This one simple truth sets the tone for everything you're about to hear, everything you're about to learn. From this best audiobook for self-improvement, it's the most powerful move you'll ever make. Ready for it? It's the one nobody sees coming. Yep, that's it. Never tell people what you do. Why? Because in today's world, everyone's busy talking about their goals, talking about their progress, talking about the success they haven't earned yet. But here's the cold, hard truth. Talking doesn't build anything. It's the silent work that does that. And that, my friend, is what this entire motivational audiobook for success is about. It's a silence and success speech delivered straight to you. You don't need to announce your plans. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to commit quietly, consistently. You need to show up every single day, get a little better every single day, and trust that the results will speak when it's time. This discipline and focus audiobook will teach you how to stay focused and win. It will show you how to protect your energy from the noise, how to stop performing for an audience, and how to start producing real, tangible results. If you are serious about personal growth and building a life that truly matters, if you want silent success motivation that actually works, then this is where you start. Quietly, consistently, and without saying a single word about it. Get ready to build in silence. We notice that 85% of you who listen to our video are not yet subscribed to the channel. Please help support the channel by hitting the subscribe button and liking the video. Thanks for inspiring us to create more content for you. Now let's begin. Chapter 1. Close your mouth and get serious about your life. Okay, let's dive straight into it. Chapter 1. Close your mouth and get serious about your life. This is where everything starts. It's not about talking about change, it's about making the change. It's not about explaining your grand plans to people who aren't living your life, who don't share your hunger, or who won't be there when things get tough. No. This chapter is about that moment you wake up and decide you've just had enough. Enough of the nonsense, enough of wasting time, enough of talking without action, enough of pretending things are okay when they absolutely are not. That decision, that quiet, fierce decision made within the confines of your own mind and heart, that's the one that changes everything. You don't need permission. You don't need a round of applause. You don't need validation from social media or your friends. What you need is focus. You need a real, raw, personal conversation with yourself. A conversation that sounds like this. All right, no more playing small, no more delaying, no more looking for some magic shortcut or quick fix. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm going to work, look around. Most people are spending more time talking about what they are going to do than actually doing it. They post online about their ambitious goals. They talk endlessly about their business ideas. They share screenshots of theoretical progress. But do you see them building anything? Often no. Do you know why? Because talking is easy. Talking gives you a quick hit of dopamine. It makes you feel like you've made progress, even when you haven't lifted a finger towards the real work. It provides a temporary boost of confidence, a fleeting sense of validation. But guess what? It doesn't give you results, not real ones anyway. Real progress starts when you go quiet, when you decide to stop sharing every single thought and every single step, and instead start focusing on fixing everything that needs fixing. It starts when you make the difficult choice to wake up earlier, when you stop wasting precious hours with people who don't actually care where you're going or what you're trying to achieve. When you ruthlessly delete distractions. Yes, maybe even social media where you used to announce your plans and get down to the messy, unglamorous work. That's the beginning of something real. You don't owe anyone an explanation about your goals. Not your friends, not your neighbors, honestly, not even your family, unless they are actively involved in your vision. This is your life. If you truly want to change it, you have to start acting like it matters more than external opinions. Most people won't understand your hunger. They won't understand your sudden silence or your change in habits. And that's perfectly fine. They don't have to. You are not building your life to make sense to others. You are building your life to become who you know you are meant to be. And that version of you, the powerful one you dream about, the one you've kept locked up and hidden away for years, the one you talk to late at night when the world is quiet, that version doesn't need attention. It doesn't need validation. It needs action. You can keep talking about change, or you can change. You can keep explaining your future, or you can start living your future, step by silent step. The world doesn't need to hear about your intentions anymore. It needs to witness your transformation. There is an immense power in silence, a deep, quiet strength that grows within you when nobody is looking. You get serious about your life when you finally stop chasing validation from external sources, when you stop needing someone else to agree with you, when you stop updating everyone about your every single move. You don't grow by telling people what you're doing. You grow by doing it. Start asking yourself some difficult, honest questions. Are you using your time wisely, or are you just letting it slip away? Are you making the best use of those crucial early morning hours? Are you training your body? Are you strengthening your mind with learning and reflection? Are you building valuable new skills, or are you just moving through each day, scrolling endlessly, talking about possibilities and wishing for a different reality? If you are serious about making a real, lasting change, start by cutting the noise. Focus on yourself, not others. Stop trying to impress people who aren't even doing anything meaningful with their own lives. Stop trying to explain yourself to people who don't even understand the basic meaning of growth or discipline. That is a trap, every single time. Every time you choose talking instead of acting, you trade your power for temporary comfort. And every time you trade action for comfort, you stay stuck in the exact same place you are now. Take your goals seriously. Take your time seriously. Take your future seriously, because if you don't, nobody else will. You want to be respected? Then build something worth respecting. You want people to take you seriously? Then take yourself seriously first. You don't have to announce what you're doing. Just get to work. Show up day after day. Improve your habits, even the small ones, like keeping your space clean. Build your discipline brick by brick. Stop skipping the work, especially the work that nobody sees. It might feel invisible now, but one day people will look at you and wonder, how did they do it? And the answer will be incredibly simple. You shut your mouth and you got serious. You stopped needing others to clap for you. You stopped waiting for the perfect moment which never comes. You stopped explaining every single step of your journey. You just started walking. You learned to enjoy the quiet. You made peace with being misunderstood for a while, and you used that silence to build something that speaks for itself. There is something undeniably powerful about someone who doesn't need to talk constantly. Someone who walks into a room, and their presence, their results, their quiet confidence says everything that needs to be said. That's who you can become. That's how you cultivate silent success motivation. But you have to want it bad enough. You have to be genuinely tired of being average, tired of feeling behind, tired of repeating the same routine with no visible progress. You have to be willing to make the hard choices, the uncomfortable choices. You have to decide that your future matters more than temporary comfort or external approval. Most people are busy being loud about nothing. Be quiet and build something. Build discipline. Build your health. Build your knowledge. Build your craft. Build the kind of life that makes people look at you and genuinely wonder, how did they accomplish that? And you won't need to say a word, because your results will answer for you. You want to win in public? Then you need to fight in private. You need to do the work that nobody sees. You need to master the things that don't get likes or shares. You need to put your head down and grind day after day, without skipping, without complaining, without waiting for permission or motivation, because this is your life, and no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you a better future. On a silver platter, you have to earn it, with effort, with focus, with consistency. It's not glamorous, it's certainly not easy, but it is real, and it absolutely works. You have a clear choice right now. Keep talking about what you're going to do, or shut your mouth and do it. One path leads to a lifetime of excuses and unfulfilled potential. The other leads to real, undeniable results. So close your mouth, get serious about your life, stay quiet, stay hungry, and build something that cannot be ignored. That, my friend, is how you focus in silence. That is how you win in public. This is the start of your silent success. Chapter 2. Work quietly on your goals. Every single day, all right? Moving on. Chapter 2 is all about the engine room. It's about the consistent, often unseen effort that drives everything forward. The message is simple but profound. Work quietly on your goals every single day. This is the fundamental mindset of someone who is truly ready to turn their life around. It doesn't sound exciting, does it? It doesn't scream viral sensation or promise overnight fame. It sounds like work, but let me tell you, it works. Real progress, the kind that lasts and compounds over time, always starts the moment you stop waiting for motivation to strike and start showing up with unwavering discipline. And I'm not talking about showing up once a week when you feel inspired, not just when it's convenient or when you have a burst of energy. I mean every single day, quietly, consistently, without making a big show out of it, without needing an audience. The problem is, too many people want the results. They want the transformation, the success, the recognition, but they don't want to do the boring, repetitive, unglamorous work that actually brings those results. They want to be seen working hard. They want the appearance of effort, but they shy away from actually doing the work when no one is watching. That's precisely why they stay stuck. That's why they keep starting over, bouncing from one new plan to the next, always searching for a magic bullet or a secret hack. But the real answer is right in front of them, buried in the mundane. Be consistent when it's not exciting. Keep showing up even when nobody's clapping. Keep doing the work even when you feel like you're just spinning your wheels. That's where real progress begins. That's the heart of silent success motivation. If you are truly serious about your future, about building the life you envision, then you have got to start treating your goals like they matter every single day, not just on Mondays or when you feel particularly motivated. Every single day, because life doesn't primarily reward the people who work sporadically, who show up only when they feel like it. It rewards those who put in the time, consistently, relentlessly, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels slow, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Those are the people who end up far ahead of the pack. You've got to build a rhythm that works for you, not someone else's picture-perfect routine that you saw online, not what looks good on paper or what someone else tells you that you should be doing. You have to find your own pace, your own flow. Maybe for you, that means waking up an hour earlier to dedicate time to your most important goal. Maybe it means cutting out a few things that waste your time, endless scrolling, unproductive meetings, negative conversations. Whatever it is, make the change. Don't wait for the perfect time. That day never, ever comes. Just begin. Start small if you have to. Take tiny steps, but start. The people who truly win in life are not the ones who talk the most. They're not the ones who are always announcing what they're working on or seeking external validation. They are the ones who show up day after day, quietly, persistently, getting better, inch by painful inch, without needing to explain it to anyone. You'll see them a year later, maybe two, and they seem like they've transformed overnight. But you didn't see the 6 a.m. mornings. You didn't see the nights they chose focused work over comfortable leisure. You didn't see the hundreds of small, disciplined choices they made when no one was watching, and you weren't supposed to, because they weren't doing it for show. They were doing it for themselves. They were building something from the ground up. That's the key. You've got to stop trying to impress people with your intentions and start building something for you with your actions. Don't post about every workout. Don't brag about reading a chapter. Don't wait for feedback on your rough draft. Just work. Focus on the goal. Focus on the mission and stay with it. You don't need a crowd to clap for you every step of the way. What you need is a reason that keeps you going when it's hard. A reason that doesn't fade when the initial excitement dies down and things get quiet. Start thinking long-term. Don't chase quick results or instant gratification. Don't rush the process. Building anything meaningful, whether it's a business, a skill, a physique, or just a better version of yourself, takes time. It takes consistent effort. It takes sacrifice. And yes, it will be lonely at times. You will have days when nobody around you understands what you're doing or why you're doing it. You will have moments when you question yourself, when doubt creeps in, when you wonder if any of this quiet work is even worth it. But you have to keep going. That is part of the process. Those who keep going during the hard parts, during the quiet parts, during the unseen parts, they are the ones who actually get somewhere. This is how you achieve goals quietly. You have to be okay with not being noticed for a while. You have to be comfortable with putting in work that doesn't get recognized or praised immediately, because eventually the results will show. Eventually your growth will speak louder and more powerfully than anything you could have possibly said. But you've got to earn it first. You've got to show up for it, and you've got to be patient with it. It's not just about working hard, it's about working smart. Use your time wisely. Don't just stay busy, stay focused. Know exactly what you are trying to build. Make a plan, write it down, break it down into small, manageable daily steps. Then follow through every single day, even when you're tired, even when the initial excitement wears off. Show up anyway. That's how you build momentum. The truth is, your future depends on the choices you make when no one's watching. It depends on what you do with your early mornings, your late evenings, your seemingly insignificant free hours. That time adds up. Think about it. Just 1 hour of focused, dedicated effort every single day is over 350 hours a year. That is more than enough time to completely change your life, to master a new skill, to build a significant project, to achieve something remarkable. But it doesn't happen if you skip days. It doesn't happen if you keep waiting for inspiration to strike. It happens when you make it a non-negotiable habit. Discipline doesn't feel good in the moment, not always. It feels like resistance. But let me tell you, it feels a whole lot better than regret down the line. Most people live with regret because they waited too long to get serious. They waited for the right time, the right feeling, the perfect moment. And in that endless waiting, they lost years. Don't let that be you. Make the decision now. Start the habit now. Commit to the process now. And understand something else crucial. You are not going to feel motivated every single day. That is completely normal. But that is not a reason to stop. You are not supposed to feel amazing and inspired all the time. You are simply supposed to keep going anyway. Motivation fades. Discipline doesn't. Motivation is a fleeting feeling. Discipline is a powerful choice, repeated daily. So, start building habits quietly. And while you are building, remember to protect your peace and your energy. You don't need to explain your new routine to anyone. You don't owe anyone a breakdown of your schedule. You absolutely do not need to convince anyone why you are working late, why you are skipping parties, or why you are not always available for casual hangouts. Stay quiet. Stay focused. You are not doing this for attention. You are doing this for freedom. You are doing this for strength. You are doing this because your life deserves better than the bare minimum. There's a profound kind of pride that comes from knowing you've been consistent when nobody was looking, that you've been improving yourself brick by brick without having to show off or seek praise, that you have kept your word to yourself, even when it wasn't easy. That is the kind of pride that builds real confidence, not fake confidence based on likes and external praise. Real confidence that comes from showing up again and again for yourself. Eventually, people will notice. They will see the changes. They will see the results. But by then, you won't need their validation. You will already know who you've become. And that's the ultimate goal, to become someone you are truly proud of, someone who didn't quit when it got hard, someone who stayed true to the work, someone who made a decision and followed through, quietly and relentlessly. You don't need a louder voice to be heard. You need a stronger routine. You don't need more opinions from others. You need more time dedicated to your goals. You don't need to talk about your vision. You need to live it, step by step, day by day, in silence, because the best work you will ever do will be the work no one sees, and the best version of you will be built in the quiet hours, far away from the noise, the pressure, the opinions, and the endless stream of distractions. Work quietly every single day. And when the time is right, your results will speak everything that needs to be said. This is your journey towards silent success. Chapter 3. Stop proving and start doing what really matters. Let's get straight to the heart of another crucial shift. Chapter 3. Stop proving and start doing what really matters. This is the turning point. This is where life begins to change, in a fundamental way. Not when you finally convince people you're capable, not when you manage to impress the doubters, not when you receive external validation. It changes when you make the internal decision that you don't need their approval anymore. Period. Think about how much energy most people waste every single day trying to be liked, trying to be understood, trying to be accepted by others. They are constantly performing, adjusting, explaining. But none of that effort, none of that performance actually moves your life forward. None of that energy is building your future. The truth is, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Not your worth, not your capability, not your potential. What you need to do is make progress. Quiet, steady, personal progress. That's what truly matters. Trying to constantly prove yourself to the outside world keeps you trapped in a draining cycle of seeking permission. You explain your ideas, you post about your intentions, you update everyone on your minimal progress, you chase recognition and validation before you've earned it. But here's what really happens when you do that. You slow down, you lose focus, you start to forget why you even started in the first place. Because now you're no longer doing it primarily for your own growth. You're doing it to be noticed, to get a reaction. And that, my friends, is often where the downfall begins. When you care more about being seen working than becoming better through the work, you are trading genuine internal progress for fleeting external performance. And that is how countless people get stuck, spinning their wheels endlessly. You don't need to announce every single step you take on your journey. You don't need to be right in every online argument or conversation. You absolutely do not need to be understood by everyone you encounter. That's not the goal of a life well lived. The goal is to improve, to evolve, to fix what's broken inside yourself, to face your own weaknesses, your own limitations, and actually do something constructive about them. And guess what? That process doesn't require noise. It requires action. It requires brutal honesty with yourself. It requires you to stop pretending and start working. The world is absolutely full of people who talk a lot, but do very little. They dress the part. They use the right buzzwords. They talk a big game about their ambitions. But nothing in their actual life changes in a meaningful way. That's because their primary focus is on image, not on growth. They are addicted to looking like they are winning instead of putting in the gritty, unseen work that actually builds a win. If you want something truly better for yourself, if you crave real, lasting change, then stop following that pattern. Stop trying to be impressive. Start trying to be real. Start trying to be effective. Focus on yourself, not others, and their fleeting opinions. Doing what really matters means cutting through the distractions like a hot knife through butter. It means getting deadly serious about how you spend your time. It means looking honestly at your daily habits, your routines, your choices, and asking yourself, with genuine curiosity, are these helping me get where I want to go? And if the honest answer is no, you change them. Not tomorrow, not when it's easier. You change them now. Because your life isn't going to wait for you. Your goals aren't going to build themselves magically. You either do the work or you don't. It's that simple. People spend years, decades even, trying to earn the respect of people who don't even know what they want in their own lives. They base their crucial choices on how it looks to others instead of what actually works for their own growth and future. They actively avoid doing the hard things because the hard things don't come with instant praise or external validation. But here's the truth. What really matters rarely looks exciting from the outside. It looks like early mornings, consistently. It looks like cutting out comfort and saying no to easy distractions. It looks like sacrificing now so you can live better and freer later. And most of all, it looks like saying no to things that waste your time and energy, even when those things are popular or socially expected. Doing what really matters requires absolute clarity. You cannot chase everything and expect to make significant progress anywhere. You've got to define what is truly important to you. You've got to know what your non-negotiable priorities are. And once you know, you protect them fiercely. You don't compromise. You don't make excuses. You don't wait for others to support you or understand you. You build your own reasons. You stay focused even when others don't understand your path or your quiet dedication. That's how serious people live. When you stop proving yourself to the world, you free yourself. You stop needing the world's permission to move forward. You stop waiting for applause before you take the next step, and you start making decisions based purely on your own internal standard, your own values, your own vision. That is where real strength comes from. When you can stand alone, when you can show up for the work without needing a crowd around you, when you can push forward relentlessly even when no one is clapping for you. That's growth, that's maturity, that's leadership. Some people simply won't understand your choices. Some will undoubtedly doubt you. Some will think you've changed. And they'll be absolutely right, you have. Because staying the same means staying stuck. Growth means doing things differently. It means bravely walking away from habits, people, and situations that no longer serve the person you are becoming. It means focusing more on tangible results than on fleeting reactions. And it means being completely okay with being misunderstood. For a while, because you are building something deeper, something more substantial than what people can see on the surface. You owe it to yourself and to the future version of you to take your life seriously. Not in a way that is rigid or cold, but in a way that is crystal clear and deeply intentional. Your days matter, your energy matters, your purpose matters. And when you stop trying to prove that to others, you finally create the space, the mental and emotional real estate, to prove it to yourself. You prove it by how you show up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. You prove it by how you handle setbacks, not just talking about resilience, but living it. You prove it by how you keep your word to yourself, making promises and following through, even when nobody is watching. What really matters is not how many people approve of your effort. What matters is the life you build because of your effort, the inner peace you earn from showing up consistently, the unwavering confidence you develop from doing what's hard and not quitting, the quiet strength that comes from knowing you don't need to explain your path. You just need to walk it, and make no mistake, Walking that path isn't always easy. You will have doubts. You will have days when nothing makes sense. You will feel like giving up entirely. You'll wonder if any of this quiet, unseen effort is worth it. But if you stay committed to doing what matters, day in and day out, the answer, eventually, will always be a resounding yes. Because the results that come from that kind of focused internal effort are solid. They last. They change you from the inside out in ways that superficial praise never could. You are not here to perform for people. You are not here to get likes or collect validation points. You are here to become who you were truly meant to be, and that version of you, the one with genuine strength, with deep discipline, with unwavering clarity, that version doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. That version simply lives the truth of their being. So stop talking about your vision and start building it. Stop chasing attention and start chasing progress. Stop trying to impress and start trying to improve, and do it for you, not for show, not for status, but for your own growth, your own peace, and your own real lasting change. You'll look back one day, perhaps sooner than you think, and realize the greatest shift in your life didn't happen when someone finally believed in you or gave you permission. It happened the moment you stopped needing them to. When you got up, focused on what mattered most, and followed through day by day, quietly, honestly, and without needing to be seen. That's when everything started to change. That's when you stopped proving and started truly living. This is your path to success without validation. Chapter 4. Build your habits without telling anyone about them. Welcome to Chapter 4. This one is crucial. It's about the foundational blocks of your future and how to protect them. The core principle here is build your habits without telling anyone about them. Honestly, this is one of the most powerful, most strategic things you can do for your own personal growth and success. And it's not about being secretive or trying to be mysterious. It's because when you keep your developing habits to yourself, two critical things happen. Your focus stays incredibly sharp, and your effort remains honest and pure. Most people unknowingly break their own growth momentum right at the start by needing to announce everything. They begin something good. A new workout routine, a commitment to reading, a plan to write daily, and before the habit is even remotely rooted, before it has any real strength, they talk about it. They post about it on social media. They tell everyone they meet. They crave praise and acknowledgement for what they've barely even begun, and as soon as they get that little hit of external approval, that fleeting validation, guess what? The internal motivation often fades. Why? Because their brain registered the reward, the attention, the praise, prematurely. It feels like they've already done something great, even though they haven't followed through on anything yet. The loop is closed too soon. Building habits is a deeply personal process. It is not meant for the camera. It is not for a cheering crowd. It is for you. And the more you keep that process private, the more real it becomes, the more it grows inside of you, integrating itself as a core part of who you are. A habit isn't a statement you make to others. It's a repeated action you take consistently for yourself. It's something you do without needing external attention or validation. It becomes part of your identity over time. And that profound integration, that deep rooting, only happens when you stay consistent in the quiet moments, when no one is asking what you're working on, when no one is giving you credit or virtual high fives. That's where the real, unbreakable strength is built. This is the essence of the Build in Silence audiobook theme. You don't need to announce to your friends, family, or followers that you've started waking up early. Just wake up early, consistently. You don't need to tell people you're reading more books or learning a new skill. Just read the books. Just practice the skill. You don't need to explain your new structured schedule or show everyone your meticulously planned workout routine. Just follow it, day after day. Your habit doesn't become stronger because you talked about it. It becomes stronger because you repeated it. When you build your habits in silence, you are protecting your energy. You are wisely avoiding the trap of needing someone else to approve your growth journey. You avoid having to explain yourself or justify your methods when you inevitably hit a setback, and you will hit setbacks. And critically, you avoid the powerful temptation to quit simply because people aren't noticing your effort or praising your early attempts. Growth doesn't need a stage, it needs consistency, it needs time, it needs privacy. It needs you to stay with it, especially when it gets boring, tedious, and difficult, which it will, especially at the beginning. At the start of anything new, your willpower is often weak. You are building something unfamiliar. You're not used to the new routine yet. And in that fragile early phase, talking about it too soon can easily kill the nascent momentum. Because once you start sharing, you invite opinions, you invite distractions, you invite judgment, both real and imagined. All of that external noise can easily throw you off your path. You start worrying about how your progress looks to others instead of how your consistent effort feels internally. You start trying to match external expectations instead of staying true to your own carefully planned path. But when you keep it to yourself, when you build your habits in silence, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You're not performing. You're not trying to sound impressive. You're simply showing up quietly, repeatedly. That is how real change happens. That is how habits take root. In the background, in the daily grind, in the parts of your day that no one ever sees. You don't have to justify your discipline. You don't have to explain why you're changing your habits. Just change. Improve your diet without posting pictures of every meal. Spend time learning a new skill or reading challenging books without announcing it to your network. Save your money and build your financial future without sharing your monetary goals with the world. These choices, made daily and kept private, will build a foundation of unwavering self-respect that nobody can ever take away from you. Some people won't notice your growth at first. Some people might even question why you seem distant or different. That is absolutely fine. You are not living your life for them, and you are certainly not making choices for their comfort or understanding. You are creating a better future for yourself, one disciplined choice at a time. And that future is built with habits that you stick to, not ones you talk about every day. Every day you have a chance to do something, however small, that helps you grow. Wake up and get after it, without needing to be seen. Track your progress privately. Reflect on your mistakes quietly. Adjust your strategy in peace. You will be absolutely amazed at how fast your life changes when your energy is spent on doing instead of explaining. Building habits without sharing them also teaches you something incredibly powerful: self-trust. You start to believe in yourself on a deeper level. You don't need a constant reminder or motivational push from the outside world to keep going. You have made a promise to yourself, and you are quietly, consistently keeping it. That's what truly changes your confidence. Not compliments, not praise, but the quiet, internal knowing that you have been consistent even when no one else noticed. And this kind of discipline becomes a part of you. You wake up and your day already has structure. You don't waste time wondering what you should be doing. You don't need to find external motivation every single morning. You've built a system, brick by brick, and now that system carries you forward. But it only works if you've done the hard part first, building it when it was tough, when it wasn't exciting, and when nobody was watching. People will eventually see the results. They'll see the transformation. But by then, you won't even care about showing off. You'll be too focused on your next goal, your next area of growth. You'll be living in a way that feels right and true to you, independent of external validation. And that kind of quiet strength, that unshaken, focused, intentional power, that's the kind that lasts. Stop trying to impress people with your goals. Instead, show them your discipline through your results. Let them wonder how you changed so much. Let your new habits speak for themselves. You don't need to tell them what you're doing, just keep doing it. And when they eventually ask what changed, you won't even need to say a word, because it will be obvious. This approach also fiercely protects your mindset. When you stop telling everyone your plans, you automatically avoid unnecessary pressure and external expectations. You give yourself the room to make mistakes, to learn, to adjust your course, without the paralyzing fear of looking like you failed in front of an audience. You don't owe anyone perfection. You owe yourself growth. And growth is messy. It takes time. It rarely follows a straight, predictable path. But if you stay with it quietly and consistently, it will reward you in ways no amount of applause ever could. Be the person who takes action in silence, who becomes better, stronger, wiser behind the scenes, who isn't driven by the fleeting need for recognition, but by deep, internal self-respect. Build a life that works for you, whether or not anyone else sees it, and you'll find a kind of peace, a kind of quiet confidence. That's hard to shake. Your habits will build your future, one day, one action at a time. And if you stay consistent long enough, they'll carry you through challenges that used to break you. You'll become someone who doesn't just talk about discipline, you live it. You don't post about change, you embody it. This is how strong people live. They make moves in silence, they improve quietly, and they let time, consistency, and undeniable results reveal their transformation. That's the way to go. That's the mindset that wins. That's how you build a life that lasts. Chapter 5. Take action. Daily and say nothing about it. Welcome to Chapter 5. This is where we put rubber to the road. The message is clear, simple, and powerful. Take action daily and say nothing about it. This is the line in the sand. This is what separates the ones who genuinely want it from the ones who are just talking about wanting it. The ones who understand the power of moving in silence. The ones who put in the difficult, consistent work every single day, rain or shine, motivated or not, without needing external attention or approval. Those are the ones who end up changing their lives in significant ways. Not the ones who are always explaining, not the ones who are constantly sharing their intentions, not the ones waiting for someone else to notice them or give them permission. Quiet action, repeated consistently over time, is the most powerful force for change available to you. It is what builds results, results that don't need explanations, results that speak louder than anything you could ever say. Every single day you wake up, life gives you another chance to get better. You don't need to tell anyone what you're about to do with that chance. You just need to do it. You don't need to post your workout plan. You don't need to tweet about your intention to read. You don't need to prove you're serious with loud declarations. You show it in your discipline. You show it in your consistency. You show it in your outcomes. People waste so much time and energy talking about what they are planning to do. They get addicted to that little burst of validation that comes from making an announcement. But announcements, no matter how grand, do not create transformation. Work does. Quiet, steady, often boring, honest work done daily. You don't need a crowd cheering you on every step of the way. You don't need virtual claps. You certainly don't need to share your plans in group chats or post updates every single time you take a small step forward. Most people do that because they're looking for accountability from the outside. But the only accountability that truly sticks, the only kind that will carry you through the tough times, is the accountability that comes from the inside. From the deep knowing that you don't need anyone watching for you to give your best effort. From the understanding that you are building something significant for yourself, not just for applause or external validation. If something truly matters to you, if it's a genuine priority for your future, you will show up for it. Not once a week. Not just when it feels easy or convenient. Every day, whether you're tired, stressed, busy, or bored, you show up. That's what creates change. Not the loud, ambitious goals you talk about, not the dramatic declarations of intent, but the quiet, consistent follow-through. You want to improve your health? Show up for the movement, for the healthy food choices. Every day, you want to become more skilled in your craft or career. Show up for the practice, for the learning, for the difficult tasks. Every day, you want to turn your life around. Show up for the discipline, for the focus, for the necessary changes every single day. And do it without saying a word about it. People often mistake silence for weakness. But real strength is being able to do the work when nobody sees you doing it, when nobody praises you for it, and when nobody is checking in to make sure you're staying on track. You know what you're doing. You know where you're going. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to defend your routine or your choices. Just take the next step, and then keep taking it. There's a unique kind of power that builds inside you when you take action without needing an immediate reaction from others. You stop depending on external validation to fuel you. You stop waiting for feedback before you decide if your effort was good enough. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to build an unbreakable connection with your own process, your own internal compass. You don't need external reminders. You don't need a constant stream of motivational videos every morning, though those can be helpful sometimes. You've made a conscious choice, and now you simply live by it. Not loudly, not emotionally, quietly, focused, grounded. You don't have to make noise to make progress. In fact, often the opposite is true, and you absolutely do not need to explain your priorities to people who don't understand them. Your time belongs to you and your goals. Your energy belongs to your vision. Every single time you take action, without making a big deal out of it, you are building discipline. You are building inner control. You are building that quiet, unstoppable momentum that can't be easily derailed. Because now you're not doing it for external approval. You're doing it because it fundamentally matters to you. That's what most people don't get. They think that if they're not seen working hard, it doesn't count. They think that the effort only matters if it's acknowledged. But the truth is, the best, most transformative progress happens in the dark, when no one's asking about it, when no one's cheering for it. That's where the real wins are created. That's where new standards are set. Not when the camera's on, but when the world is silent and you still show up. Taking action daily means building a life with structure, with purpose woven into its fabric. You don't need to force yourself into it every day. You just need to commit to the process. You don't need to rely on fleeting moods or feelings to dictate your actions. You need to rely on the fundamental fact that your actions today will shape your life tomorrow. Every focused workout session, every reflective journal entry, every chapter read, every hour dedicated to deep focused work. These are the building blocks. These are the steps. Stack enough of them consistently, quietly, and you'll look back a year from now, or even 6 months, barely recognizing the person you were. Not because you said you'd change, but because you did. Stay away from distractions that pull you into performing or proving. Stay away from people who always ask what you're doing but never seem to do anything themselves. Stay away from the pressure to be loud about your journey. The more quiet your progress is, the more real it becomes. The more silent your effort, the more solid and deeply rooted your growth. You don't have to tell them you're working. Let the outcome make that crystal clear. Every day you wake up, you have a choice. You can retreat back to comfort and inertia, or you can choose to take action again. And if you take action, do it with intent. Do it like it's the most important thing in the world, because for your future, it is. Don't rush it. Don't chase shortcuts. Just do it well. And once it's done, move on to the next task. No need to brag. No need to show off. You know what you did, and that's enough. People who fundamentally change their lives don't need the world to agree with them or validate their choices. They just need to believe in their own decision and follow through consistently. That's the core of all success. Belief followed by action. Not words, not posts, not promises, just effort, daily, quiet, honest effort. And when things get tough, which they absolutely will, don't complain. Don't explain your struggles to anyone who isn't part of the solution. Just keep moving. Adjust if you need to. Learn from the setbacks. Get stronger because of the resistance. But never stop showing up for the work. Every hard day you survive adds another layer of grit to your character. Every silent win you earn builds unbreakable confidence. And every action you take without telling anyone brings you closer to becoming someone who lives on purpose, not for attention. This life isn't about being seen doing the work. It's about doing the work and letting it shape you into someone stronger, more capable, more aligned with your true potential. The less you talk, the more you do. And the more you do, the more you grow. And that growth, built in silence, eventually becomes undeniable. Not because you told people about it, but because they'll see it in how you carry yourself, in how you speak, in how you live your life. Take action today, then again tomorrow, then the next day. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to explain it. Just show up day after day, one step at a time, quietly, steadily, and watch how everything starts to change. Not all at once, not always in public at first, but deep inside where it counts the most. That's where success is born. In the quiet decisions, in the daily effort, in the choice to act without saying a single thing. This is how you stay silent and succeed. Chapter 6. Improve yourself in silence and trust your pace. All right, let's talk about the inner journey of transformation. Chapter 6. Improve yourself in silence and trust your pace. This is a cornerstone of building something that truly lasts. Real, deep, lasting change isn't built in the noise of constant updates or in the frantic race to keep up with everyone else's highlight reel. It's built in the quiet, steady, often unglamorous process of getting better, consistently, on your own terms. It's not about being faster than someone else. It's not about comparing your timeline to theirs. It's about learning to move with genuine intention, not external pressure. It's about making the quiet, internal decision to get better because you've decided you are worth more than where you are right now, not because you feel the need to be seen doing it. The world moves incredibly fast. Everywhere you look, people are showing their progress, showcasing their routines, broadcasting their results. And if you're not careful, if you let that external noise get to you, you can easily start to feel like you're constantly behind. But behind what? Whose clock are you living on? Who told you that you had to catch up to anyone else's arbitrary timeline? The truth is, nobody's path is exactly the same as yours. Your journey is unique, and the only timeline that truly matters is your own. But you can only genuinely understand and embrace that truth when you deliberately step away from the relentless pressure to prove yourself to the world. When you make the conscious choice to grow quietly without constantly asking for permission, validation, or applause, silence protects your process. It acts like a shield, giving you the essential room to breathe, to reflect deeply, and to work on yourself and your goals without the crushing weight of external expectations. It lets you make mistakes, which are inevitable and necessary for growth, without feeling like you've failed dramatically in front of an audience. And that, my friend, is incredibly important because growth is messy. Some days you'll feel strong and unstoppable. Other days you'll feel uncertain, slow, and full of doubt. But all of it counts. And when you give yourself the quiet space to experience that entire spectrum without needing to broadcast it, you begin to develop a deeper, more resilient kind of strength. One that doesn't need external approval to keep going. Improving yourself in silence doesn't mean you don't care about your goals or your growth. Far from it. It means you care enough to stay focused on the actual work. It means you're not chasing fleeting noise or temporary claps. You are building something real, something solid, something that will last. And real progress takes time. It takes patience. It takes the kind of consistent effort that nobody else will ever see, but you will
Feel it.
You'll feel it in your newfound focus, in your disciplined choices, in how you start showing up differently in every area of your life. You truly grow when you stop rushing the process, when you stop comparing your beginning to someone else's, middle or end, when you stop trying to force the outcome and instead learn to trust the process. There is a natural rhythm to your life, to your energy, to your growth. Find it. Follow it. Don't fight it. There's no prize for being the fastest. To announce your intentions, but there is profound peace in being the most grounded in your daily actions. There is immense power in showing up for yourself consistently at your own pace and knowing deep down that unwavering consistency is what truly gets you there, not breakneck speed or loud announcements. Trusting your pace means respecting where you are right now in your journey. It means not beating yourself up endlessly for not being further along than you think you should be. It means recognizing and celebrating your wins, even the small ones, because they absolutely matter. Every new positive habit you stick with, every single day you choose not to quit, every time you keep going without needing to talk about it or get credit for it, that's growth, that's improvement. That's what builds an unbreakable foundation that won't crack when things inevitably get tough. Most people fall apart when faced with challenges, not necessarily because they are inherently weak, but because they try to force change too fast. They want transformation overnight. They want significant results in a week or a month. And when that doesn't happen, when reality doesn't match their unrealistic expectations, they lose hope and give up. But the ones who truly win, the ones who build lives of substance, they're the ones who don't rush. They're the ones who put in the work day after day, quietly, patiently, and let the results come when they are ready. They don't need to prove anything to the world. They just keep going, quietly, patiently, relentlessly. It is easy to want progress fast, but what you build fast often falls apart just as quickly. Take your time, build slow if you have to. What truly matters is that you don't stop moving forward. What matters is that every single day you are doing something, however small, however invisible from the outside, to move towards the person you want to become and the life you want to build. You know what that small step means. You know how hard it can be sometimes, and that internal knowing is enough. Improving in silence gives you incredible control over your own narrative and your own motivation. You're not waiting for someone else to notice your effort before you feel motivated to continue. You're not basing your self-worth on how much external attention or validation you receive. You are doing the work, the quiet, consistent work, because it is fundamentally part of who you are becoming. You're doing it because it matters to you. That's the kind of growth that sticks. That's the kind of growth that cannot be easily taken away by circumstances or the opinions of others. Some days you'll feel like you're moving at a snail's pace. Some days you'll feel like absolutely nothing is changing. But it is. Every single day you show up, every single time you choose effort over comfort, something is shifting inside you. You are becoming more patient, more focused, more capable. But you won't always see it right away. That's exactly why you need to trust your pace. Believe in what you are building, even when it's quiet, especially when it's quiet and unseen. You don't owe the world constant updates on your progress. You don't need to explain why you're changing or why you've gone quiet. Just keep going. The ones who are genuinely meant to notice will eventually, but by then, you won't need their approval anyway, because you will have built something far more valuable, self-respect. And that comes only from doing the work when it's invisible, when it's uncomfortable, and when nobody else is cheering you on. This is the essence of success without validation. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment to go all in on your goals, stop waiting. The perfect moment is right now. Start where you are. Use what you have. Move at your own speed, the speed that feels right and sustainable for you. And do it quietly, not because you're hiding, but because you're focused, because you know that what you are building doesn't need to be shouted about from the rooftops. It needs to be done diligently and consistently. You'll know you're truly improving when your actions start to become effortless habits. When you no longer need to talk yourself into doing the right thing, you just do it. When skipping your routine feels genuinely uncomfortable and wrong. When discipline starts to feel less like a struggle and more like your normal mode of operation. That shift doesn't happen in a rush. It happens in silence, over time, with consistent effort and repetition. And if you fall off track, which is okay, get back up quietly. No need to make a big deal out of it. No need to start over with a new, dramatic announcement. Just return to your rhythm. Return to your pace, one step at a time. That's all it takes. There's something uniquely powerful about someone who doesn't need to be seen to stay consistent. Someone who doesn't depend on external applause to keep working hard. Someone who can keep pushing through doubt, through boredom, through genuinely hard days. That's not weakness, that's resilience. And it's built, brick by brick, through silent effort, day after day. Your journey is entirely yours. You set the tone, you decide the pace, you choose how it looks, how it feels, and how it unfolds. So choose patience, choose privacy, choose persistence. Keep improving yourself quietly, consistently, and trust your pace. Trust that every step, no matter how quiet or small it seems from the outside, is leading you somewhere better. Not necessarily faster, not necessarily louder, but undeniably real. This is how you cultivate silent success. Chapter 7. Stay focused on your path and ignore opinions. All right, Chapter 7. This is where we build our mental fortress. The principle is non-negotiable. Stay focused on your path and ignore opinions. This isn't just a good idea. It's the mindset that actively protects your peace, sharpens your clarity, and is absolutely essential for getting you where you truly want to go. You simply cannot walk forward decisively while constantly turning your head to see who's watching or what everyone is saying. You cannot build something truly meaningful and substantial while giving your precious time and energy to every single voice and opinion around you. The world is, and will always be, full of noise. People will always have something to say about what you're doing, especially if you're doing anything different or trying to grow. Some will question you, some will doubt you, some simply won't understand you at all, and that's okay. It is not your job to convince them. It is your job to stay locked in on your purpose. When you make the decision to take your life and your goals seriously, you will inevitably feel resistance. Not just from within yourself, but often, most powerfully, from the people around you. Some will try to pull you back into your old habits. Some will make jokes about your newfound discipline or your early mornings. Some will give you unsolicited advice based entirely on their own fears, their own limitations, their own regrets, not based on your actual vision or potential. If you're not incredibly careful, if you don't have that internal compass locked, then you'll start adjusting your pace just to make others comfortable. You'll second-guess your choices constantly. You'll start looking for reassurance from people who aren't even qualified to give it. And that is exactly how you lose momentum. You start watering down your effort, compromising your standards, and shrinking your vision to match their limited expectations. You don't need to be understood by everyone on this planet. You need to be understood by yourself. You need to know with absolute clarity what matters most to you and why you are doing what you are doing. That internal clarity, that unwavering conviction, is infinitely more powerful and reliable than any external opinion. You don't owe people explanations for choosing growth over comfort. You don't have to make sense to people who are perfectly comfortable standing still. If they are not living your life, experiencing your challenges, or sharing your vision, Their opinions should not, under any circumstances, shape your direction. Staying focused means ruthlessly protecting your mental and emotional energy. It means actively filtering what gets your attention and what you engage with. Every single time you stop to respond to criticism, to defend your choices, or to prove something to someone who doesn't matter, you are taking time and energy away from the real work that needs to be done. You are slowing down your own progress to win a debate that doesn't even matter in the grand scheme of things. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them guess what you're up to. You have a path to walk, a future to build, and you simply cannot afford to be distracted by the noise. You were not born to please everyone. You were not created to live by someone else's limited standards or expectations. If your vision is clear, if your intentions are honest, then keep moving forward. Keep refining your craft. Keep building yourself brick by quiet brick. You don't need the world's permission to grow. You just need the courage to ignore the noise and keep showing up for your own journey. Opinions don't build skill. Opinions don't put in the work late at night or early in the morning. Opinions don't wake up early for you. Opinions don't study for you. Opinions don't sacrifice comfort for you. You do all of that. So why on earth would you let opinions carry more weight than your own consistent effort? Why would you let the words of people who aren't building anything hold you back from building everything that matters to you? Not everyone will like the way you move. Not everyone will support your new boundaries or your disciplined choices. Some people are genuinely more comfortable with the older version of you, the one who used to say yes to everything, the one who used to play small, the one who used to blend in with the crowd. But you are not here to stay the same. You are here to rise. And rising often means walking alone, at least for a while. It means standing firm and confident when people question you. It means trusting your vision implicitly, even when nobody else sees it yet. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Growth looks different for everyone. What feels right and necessary for you might feel strange or even threatening to others. What you value might not make sense to them, but it doesn't have to. That is not your burden to carry. What you are doing makes perfect sense to your future self, the stronger, more capable, more fulfilled person you are becoming. That future version of you will thank you endlessly for staying focused, for not giving in to the noise, for not needing everyone to clap for you. The world rewards results, not explanations or intentions. Focus on your routine. Focus on your habits. Focus on who you are becoming through the process. The outside voices get quieter the more committed you stay to your internal work. The doubt fades away when your progress starts speaking for you, and the opinions that once felt heavy and discouraging lose all their power when you truly realize they were never really about you in the first place. Most people project their own fears, their own insecurities, their own unfulfilled regrets when they see you doing something they never had the courage to attempt. It challenges them, so they criticize. Don't take it personally. Just keep working. You weren't put here to follow the crowd mindlessly. You weren't born to live on repeat, doing what everyone else does. You've got a direction, a calling, a path that is uniquely yours. And the more you honor that path, the stronger you become. The more focused you stay on your own lane, the more everything starts to line up in your favor. You build discipline, you build clarity, you build momentum. But all of that depends on one critical thing: your unwavering ability to stay centered, especially when people talk. And they will talk. Some will misunderstand you deliberately. Some will laugh at your seriousness. Some will give you advice you didn't ask for and don't need. But they won't see your late nights dedicated to your craft. They won't feel the pressure you carry. They won't understand the battles you are fighting in silence. You are the one who is walking this road. You are the one who is putting in the effort. So do not, under any circumstances, hand over control of your life to people who aren't doing the work themselves. Focus is a decision. Every single day, you choose what to give your energy to. You choose what truly matters. You choose what deserves your precious attention. And if you keep choosing distraction, if you keep choosing to engage with every opinion, you will stay stuck. But if you choose discipline, if you choose to nurture and protect your vision, you will break through. You will build something real and lasting. And when the results come, they will come because you stayed steady, because you stayed the course, not because you tried to be popular or please everyone. So shut out the noise. Turn down the volume on opinions that don't serve you. Say no, unapologetically, to unnecessary conversations and distractions. Let your actions be the answer. Let your growth be the only response needed. You are not here to be liked by everyone. You are here to be great at what you do and who you are. And greatness takes focus. It takes ignoring the side comments, the social pressure, the endless comparisons. It takes having the quiet courage to do what you know is right for you, even when it's not loud or praised. Keep your eyes firmly on your goals. Keep your schedule tight and protected. Keep your inner circle strong and supportive and small. If someone or something isn't actively helping you move forward on your path, then their opinion is simply a distraction. Stay focused. Keep your head down. Build in silence. Move with purpose. And when the time is right, your undeniable progress will speak for itself. And by then, the opinions that used to bother you won't even matter anymore, because you'll know who you've become. You'll know the work you've put in. You'll look around at the life you've built, the habits you've created, the confidence you've developed, and you'll realize that staying focused and ignoring the noise was the best decision you ever made. Not for them, for you. Always for you. This is how to stay focused and win. Chapter 8. Handle your struggles alone and grow from them. Chapter 8. This is about forging internal resilience. The title might sound daunting, but there's profound power in it. Handle your struggles alone and grow from them. Now let's be clear. This isn't about being unnecessarily secretive. It's not about refusing all help forever or trying to prove some point by doing everything by yourself. It's about recognizing that there is something incredibly powerful, something deeply formative, about facing your hardest moments, your deepest challenges, your moments of doubt, without immediately reaching for someone else to carry the entire weight for you. Growth, real, deep, transformational growth, often starts the moment you stop running from the pain and the struggle and start learning how to walk through it. There is no shortcut around it. The most valuable lessons you truly need to learn in life won't come from books or motivational speeches like this one, or unsolicited advice from the sidelines. They will come from what you survive, what you overcome, when you are primarily relying on your own internal strength and resourcefulness. When you are going through hard times, it's incredibly easy to look outward, to blame the world, blame other people, blame circumstances, to wait for someone, anyone, to notice you are hurting and come to your rescue. But real, sustainable strength is built when you look inward, when you decide to take control of what you can control, even if it's just your attitude, your next small step, or your unwavering focus. People can say they understand what you're going through. They can sympathize. They can offer support. But nobody, absolutely nobody, really feels your struggle the way you do. No one else carries the exact weight you carry, feels the precise combination of fear and uncertainty that you feel. That's why relying on others too much, too soon, for every challenge won't help you build the internal resilience and problem-solving strength that your future demands. The truth is, most of your significant growth will come from the moments when you feel like you are on the verge of breaking down entirely, but somehow you don't. From the times when you desperately want to quit, to give up, to find the easiest way out, but you choose to take the next difficult step forward anyway. Those moments shape you. They test what you are truly made of. They expose your weaknesses, absolutely. But more importantly, they give you the critical chance to build something stronger and more resilient in its place. In those moments of quiet struggle, you stop pretending everything is okay. You stop talking about your problems endlessly. You stop complaining about the unfairness of it all, and you start facing things head-on, finding solutions, adapting even when you are utterly tired, overwhelmed, and scared. There is nothing wrong with asking for help when it is genuinely needed, and when you have exhausted your own resources and are looking for expertise or support to get back on your feet, not just to be carried indefinitely. But some seasons in life require silence. They require you to sit with the discomfort, sit with the struggle, and figure out what it is trying to teach you. Not everything needs to be shared publicly. Not every breakdown needs an audience. Some pain is there specifically to show you something essential about yourself, about your limits, and about your potential that you would have never seen otherwise. You don't become stronger by avoiding the storm. You become stronger by learning how to stand in the middle of it, how to adjust your footing, how to weather the wind, how to keep moving forward and not give in. The more you depend on others to fix what is broken inside you, the longer it will take for you to build the unwavering resilience that your future goals will demand. You won't always have people around. You won't always get the support you expect or feel you need, but you will always have your choices. You will always have your ability to decide how you respond to difficulty. That is where your true power is. That is where growth begins. When you look at a challenge and say, quietly but firmly, "This is hard, this hurts, but I am not going to let it stop me." Most people actively avoid discomfort at all costs. They numb it with distractions, bury it with busyness, or try to simply wait it out. But if you truly want to grow, you've got to sit with it, feel it. Let it reveal the areas in your life that you have been ignoring. The bad habits you've clung to, the weak thinking patterns, the emotional laziness. Struggles strip all that away. They leave you face to face with your truth. And when you face that truth, alone, with courage, you change in profound ways that no easy path could have ever prepared you for. Handling your struggles in silence doesn't mean you suffer in secret. It means you choose strength over seeking sympathy. It means you use your pain as fuel, as a teacher, not as an excuse to stop. It means you stop looking for someone else to rescue you and start becoming the kind of person who can rescue yourself. That internal shift, that reclaiming of your own agency, that is where real, powerful growth begins. You become more than just someone who got through something. You become someone who became better because of it. When you stop looking for someone or something to blame and instead look for what you can control within the situation, you take your power back entirely. You start building routines and habits that make you mentally tougher day by day. You start actively controlling your environment and your inputs. You stop wasting time and energy explaining yourself or your problems to others, and start using that time to rebuild your mind, your strategy, your strength. The struggle might be loud, chaotic, and overwhelming, but your discipline has to be louder. The outside world might be full of unpredictable challenges, but your focus has to stay intact. You learn to talk to yourself in a stronger, more encouraging voice. You learn to be your own biggest cheerleader when no one else is around to do it. You learn to keep going without waiting for someone to check on you or validate your effort. That independence becomes your foundation. That kind of mindset is rare. Most people don't want to do that difficult inner work. But the ones who do, they move differently in the world. They walk with a kind of quiet strength, a deep resilience that simply cannot be faked. When things fall apart, when setbacks hit, you will be tempted to give up. You will want to take the easy way out, but you have to stop and ask yourself, What would the stronger version of me do right now? What would the future me be proud of looking back on this moment? And then you do that, even if it's hard, even if it feels like you're completely alone in the struggle, because that's the work that builds character. That's what separates the ones who grow into their potential from the ones who stay stuck in their circumstances. People don't grow when life is easy. They grow when it's dark, when the path isn't clear, when they're unsure and scared, but they keep showing up anyway. You get better when you stop complaining about the situation and start taking radical ownership of everything. Your time, your choices, your attitude, your habits, your responses. That's the real battle, and it's one you have to face on your own. You don't have to announce your struggle to the world. You don't have to prove how strong you are by performing pain. Just keep showing up, quietly, consistently. Let the hard days shape you. Let the pain teach you invaluable lessons. Let the silence build your focus and your inner resolve. It's in that private space where no one's watching, where no one's checking in, that you develop the unbreakable grit that turns struggle into unwavering strength. And when you come out the other side, as you will if you keep going, you'll realize you didn't need applause. You didn't need external attention or sympathy. You just needed to believe deep down in your own ability to keep going, one step at a time. You'll carry yourself differently, not louder, but fundamentally stronger, because you'll know in your bones what it took. You'll remember the days you almost gave up but didn't, the nights you cried but still got up in the morning, the pressure you faced but chose to rise through it instead of run from it. Struggles won't stop coming. Life won't suddenly become easy. But you, the person who faced those challenges in silence and chose to grow, you will become harder to break. And that, my friends, matters more than anything else. Because once you know you can survive the worst without losing your drive, no challenge can scare you, no setback can permanently stop you. You've built yourself from the inside out, and that's the kind of growth that lasts forever. It wasn't given, it was earned. It wasn't shared for validation, it was lived. Handle your struggles alone and grow from them, not for praise, not for sympathy, but for the version of you who's waiting on the other side of the pain. Stronger, smarter, sharper, and ready for whatever comes next. This is a key part of your personal growth. Chapter 9, Let Your Results Show What You've Been Doing. Welcome back. Chapter 9 brings us to a powerful culmination. It's about shifting the narrative from talking to undeniable demonstration. The principle, let your results show what you've been doing. This is the mindset of someone who no longer feels the slightest need to convince anyone of anything. Not with words, not with lengthy explanations, not with constant, often performative updates on their progress. You simply work, you build, you stay relentlessly consistent, and eventually, inevitably, your life starts to change. Not because you said it would change, but because you made it happen, quietly, on your own time, on your own terms. The people who spend the least amount of time talking about what they're doing are often the ones doing the most significant things. Why? Because their energy, their precious focus, is going entirely into the work itself, not into proving to the world that they are working. There comes a point on your journey where you realize with absolute clarity that talking about your goals doesn't move you forward. It might feel good for a fleeting moment, that little ego boost from sharing, but it doesn't create tangible results. You can share what you're planning, you can explain your intentions, you can describe the future you hope to build. But nothing, absolutely nothing, truly changes until you sit down, dial in your focus, and start building it, step by disciplined step. And the fundamental truth is this: people don't ultimately remember your plans. They don't remember your announcements. They remember what you finish, what you build, what you follow through on. So stop trying to sound impressive and focus all your energy on becoming effective. There is a profound kind of discipline that comes from doing the work consistently without needing to be seen or applauded. There is an unbreakable confidence that grows within you when you know deep down that you've been putting in the honest, unseen effort day after day, even when nobody else noticed. That kind of discipline is rare in today's world. Most people are busy performing for an audience. They want to be known for something before they've actually done anything. But if you are serious about building a life that lasts, a life of substance, you must prioritize your actions over your image. What matters most is not what people think you're doing, but what you actually get done when the world isn't watching. You don't have to explain why you've been distant or why your habits have changed. You don't need to justify your schedule or your priorities to anyone else. You don't owe anyone a blow-by-blow timeline of your progress. Just keep your head down and do the work every single day. When you're tired, when it's boring, when it feels like nobody cares. Because results come from repetition. They come from structure. They come from doing the same necessary things over and over again, consistently, until you get better, until you get stronger, until your results can't be ignored anymore. And when that day comes, when the results finally start showing, it will be undeniably obvious. People will notice the change. They'll see the transformation. They'll ask, "What happened? What have you been doing?" But by then, the answer will be crystal clear, etched into the fabric of your life. You've been working, not once in a while, not just when it was convenient, every single day, on your own, without distractions, without the desperate need to be seen. That's what creates transformation. Most people don't last long enough for their results to speak. They get discouraged when no one notices their early progress. They want fast results and faster praise. But lasting results take time. They take sacrifice. You might miss out on social events. You might be misunderstood by those closest to you. But that is the necessary cost of building something real. And if you are truly serious about your life, about your future, you will pay that price willingly, without complaint. Because you're not working for applause. You're working for a better version of yourself. You're working to build something within you and around you that cannot be taken away. The real win, the deepest satisfaction, is when you no longer feel the need to talk about what you're building. When you are so completely focused on the doing, on the execution, that everything else just becomes noise. That's when your time becomes truly valuable. That's when your habits get sharp. That's when your life begins its powerful shift from perpetual planning into consistent producing. And you'll find that the very people who once questioned you, who doubted you, will eventually come to respect you, not because you tried to impress them with words, but because your undeniable results force them to. It's not about showing off, it's about leveling up in silence and letting the outcome do all the talking. The people who truly matter in your life will see it, and the ones who don't matter won't be able to ignore it. Results are louder than promises. They speak when you stay silent. They prove what your words never could, because anyone can talk about potential. Anyone can announce their intentions, but only a few, the disciplined few, have the patience, the focus, and the relentless discipline to turn potential into tangible, undeniable proof. Stop wasting your precious time and energy explaining yourself or your ambitions. Start using that time to execute. Turn off the noise. Focus on the small, consistent things that move you forward daily. Keep your progress to yourself, not because you're hiding, but because you're serious, because you understand, on a fundamental level, that simply showing up and doing the work is infinitely more powerful than trying to convince people you're doing it. The more you act, the less you need to talk. And the more you act and do, the more you grow. And that growth, built quietly and patiently, becomes undeniable. Not because you told people about it, but because they'll see it in your mindset, your attitude, your new capabilities, your life. And by that point, You won't need them to see it anyway. You'll already know. You'll see it in your daily discipline. You'll feel it in the quiet strength you've built. You'll carry it in the way you speak, the way you move, the way you simply live. Quiet effort always pays off. It just takes longer to show up sometimes. But here's the key. It lasts longer too. There's no pressure when you stop performing for people. There's no crippling stress when your only true competition is who you were yesterday. And there's no doubt when you've been putting in the consistent, difficult work every single day, even when it wasn't easy, even when it felt pointless. That's the part nobody sees. That's the part they don't post online. The long hours, the early mornings, the skipped distractions, the days you pushed through even though you felt like quitting. But all of it adds up. And over time, it turns into something significant, something solid, something that no one can possibly deny. Let your habits do the talking. Let your consistency make the statement. Let your growth be the answer to any questions about what you've been doing. You don't need to defend your work ethic. You don't need to explain your priorities. Just keep showing up, keep building, keep improving. And one day, your results will become so clear, so strong, so obvious that no one will ever have to ask what you've been doing. They'll know, because it will show in everything you are and everything you do. Real progress is quiet. It's patient, it's humble, but it always eventually shows up in the end. So put your energy where it truly matters, into effort, into action, into your mission. And when the time is right, your results will speak, and they will say everything that ever needed to be said. This is how you create silent success. This is the power of a Let Results Speak audiobook philosophy. Chapter 10, Win Big Without Announcing a Single Move. And finally, Chapter 10, the pinnacle of this philosophy. It's not just about achieving goals, it's about the manner in which you achieve them. The ultimate statement, win big without announcing a single move. This isn't merely a strategy for achieving something. It's a sign of maturity, of deep focus, of truly understanding that real, sustainable success doesn't need a loud stage or a constant spotlight. The more you grow, the more you realize that the loudest one in the room is often the one doing the least. And the quiet ones, the ones with intense focus, they're not broadcasting, they're not seeking attention or validation, they are executing. They are making small, consistent moves daily. They are doing what needs to be done, diligently, relentlessly, without sharing it with the world. And when the results finally come, and they will, they arrive with undeniable strength, with profound depth, and with a clarity that cannot be questioned. You don't need to tell anyone what project you're working on. You don't have to explain why you've gone quiet, why you're no longer as available, or why you're not posting on social media like you used to. If you are truly serious about building something valuable, your health, your skills, your finances, your character, your business, then the process itself requires stillness. It requires quiet dedication, because the more you focus on telling people about what you're doing, the less time, energy, and mental real estate you have for the doing. And the doing is what separates the talkers from the winners. Most people announce everything. They set a goal, no matter how small, and immediately share it with their network. They start a new habit or routine and immediately want others to notice and praise them for it. But the problem with that approach is simple and insidious. The second you announce your intention publicly, you give your brain a small hit of reward, a dose of validation that it hasn't actually earned through action. It feels like progress, like you've taken a step forward, but nothing tangible has actually changed. You haven't finished anything. You've just received attention. And attention, while nice sometimes, is a poor and ultimately destructive substitute for genuine discipline and consistent action. Winners understand this on a deep level. That's why they keep their most important work quiet. They let the results deliver the message. When you win in silence, the reward is primarily internal at first. You're not seeking external applause or begging for validation from others. You are locked in on the process. You are chasing the standard you set for yourself, not the fleeting approval of a crowd that barely knows what you are sacrificing. That's where your power lies, because now you are working from purpose, from deep internal conviction, not from external pressure or the need to look good. You are motivated by your own mission, not by who is watching. And when it's all done, when you finally achieve that significant goal, when your body is stronger, your mind is sharper, your life is more stable and aligned, there's no need for forced announcements. The shift will be seen, it will be felt, it will be respected, not because you demanded attention, but because it's undeniably clear. Growth shows. You can't hide real elevation forever. But you also don't have to scream about it. Your results carry their own weight. The person who wins quietly also learns how to handle success with humility. They're not in it just to show off or trigger jealousy or prove anyone wrong who doubted them. They've matured past that need. They know that the true lasting reward is the progress itself, the freedom, the options, the quiet confidence that comes from earned achievement. When you've earned something through private, consistent effort, you don't feel the shallow urge to throw it in anyone's face. You just keep moving forward, calm, collected, and focused. You don't owe anyone a blow-by-blow breakdown of how you got where you are. You don't need to explain how long it took, how hard it was, or what personal sacrifices you made. That part of your journey belongs entirely to you. The long nights studying, the early mornings training, the setbacks you faced, the small, quiet wins nobody saw, those are personal milestones you built in silence, and the reward is yours to enjoy with peace. Winning big without announcing a single word also serves as a powerful shield for your future endeavors. Because when people don't know what you're working on, they can't interfere. They can't speak doubt into your plans before they're fully formed. They can't distract you with unsolicited opinions or try to pull you off course. They can't sabotage what they don't see. Your silence becomes your shield, allowing your plans to develop and strengthen away from potential negativity. While others are busy showing off their intentions and seeking validation, you are working in the dark, staying grounded, staying focused, and building something solid that cannot be undone by external noise. And critically, silence builds discipline. When you don't talk about your every step, you learn to rely solely on yourself. You become your own primary source of motivation. You become your own accountability partner, and in doing so, you gain absolute control over your own journey. You move based on your internal clarity and strategic decisions, not based on crowd reaction. You pivot with precision, not with external pressure. This is how winners win, again and again, because they never hand over control of their process. You start realizing that not everyone needs to be involved in your process. Not everyone deserves to know your next move. Not everyone can handle your growth or your evolving vision. And you are absolutely not obligated to include them. You're not being rude. You're being responsible. Responsible for your time. Responsible for your mindset. Responsible for protecting your vision. And that responsibility requires privacy. Winning in silence also teaches you to profoundly trust the process, because when nobody knows what you're doing, there is no instant feedback loop. There is no cheering section after every small win. There is no social reward for showing up. It's just you and the work, you and your habits, you and your choices. And that teaches you the invaluable lesson of staying consistent, of putting in the effort, even when it's completely unseen. It teaches you to love the grind for what it gives you, the strength, the skill, the self-respect, not for how it looks to others. That's the deepest kind of growth, the kind built in quiet, unseen places. And when the win comes, and if you put in the work, it feels different. It's not a surprise, it's not luck, it's not overnight success, it's earned. every single ounce of it. And because you didn't need the world to believe in you first, because you believed in yourself and did the work anyway, the victory feels even more complete, even more deeply satisfying. Let other people talk about their big plans. Let them chase fleeting attention and validation. Let them pretend to be busy and important. You stay silent and stay dangerous in your quiet, relentless pursuit of excellence. You do the work they avoid. You build the life they only talk about. You walk with an undeniable confidence because you have earned it through silent effort. You move differently because your habits are different, your discipline is different, your purpose is crystal clear, and that, my friends, is the real win. Not just the outcome itself, but the person you became in the process of achieving it. Quiet, focused, humble, relentless. That is how you win big without announcing a single move, because the move is already in motion. The change is already happening. The shift is already underway. You're not talking about it. You are living it. Every day, every hour, every choice. When people finally see it, they might think it happened fast, but you will know the truth. It didn't happen overnight. It happened in silence. It happened through discipline. It happened in the countless hours no one counted, in the days no one cared, and you wouldn't have it any other way, because real success doesn't scream, it doesn't beg to be seen, it simply shows up, strong, undeniable, and built to last. Conclusion: success loves silence, not because it's secretive or mysterious, but because it needs time and space to grow undisturbed. Success, much like a seed, begins quietly beneath the soil. It doesn't announce itself to the world the moment it's planted. It doesn't demand attention or validation from above ground. It simply works, steadily and silently, pushing its roots down and its first shoots upward, until one day it emerges tall and strong for all to see. And yet, so many of us feel an almost irresistible compulsion to tell the world what we're doing, what we're planning, how we're going to get there. Why is that? Maybe it's a fundamental human need for recognition or approval. Maybe it's the temporary thrill of saying, "Look at me, I'm on my way." But here's the often overlooked problem. The more you talk about your plans, the less energy you often have to actually execute them. It's a strange paradox, isn't it? Sharing too much, too soon, can drain the very momentum you need to succeed. In my years of business and personal development, I've seen this play out time and time again. People with grand ideas and noble ambitions, ideas that could truly change their lives, end up talking themselves out of the very thing they set out to do. How? By telling too many people too soon. They expose their fragile dreams to the cold winds of doubt, criticism, and distraction. And before they know it, the initial fire they once felt has burned out, replaced by uncertainty and inertia. So today, I wanted to share with you this powerful, perhaps counterintuitive philosophy: the power of keeping your plans close to your chest. Not out of secrecy for its own sake, but out of deep wisdom and strategic intent. We've explored how to cultivate a mindset that values action over words, focus over fanfare, and results over recognition. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you say you'll do that matters. It's what you actually accomplish when the world isn't watching. Keeping your plans to yourself is incredibly powerful. There's that subtle, almost mystical relationship between intention and action. Think about it. Every time you share your intentions, your goals, your dreams, your plans with others, you're releasing a bit of that potent energy. You're giving away a part of the internal fire that fuels your actions. And in many cases, that fire is better kept contained, stoked in the quiet of your own mind and heart, rather than exposed to the world too soon. One key reason, as we've discussed, is simple. When you tell people what you're going to do, you create an illusion of progress. You say, I'm starting a new business, or I'm going to lose 20 pounds, and the people around you nod, smile, maybe even clap their hands in encouragement. It feels good, doesn't it? That sense of approval, that quick hit of validation. But here's the danger. Your mind can mistake that fleeting external approval for actual accomplishment. You haven't actually done anything yet towards the goal, but you've already tasted a little bit of the reward. And what often happens next? The urgency to act diminishes. The fire cools. The dream that once seemed so vivid, so full of possibility, starts to feel like something you've already achieved, at least in your mind. So you settle into a state of comfort, and the action, the real difficult work that makes the dream a reality, gets postponed indefinitely. This is how countless dreams die, in the cradle of good intentions and premature announcements. Now, some might say, but isn't it good to share your plans? Doesn't it keep you accountable? And yes, accountability has its place, but only with the right people and, crucially, at the right time. Not everyone who listens to your plans will understand them. Some will question your motives, doubt your abilities, or project their own fears onto your vision. They might not say it out loud, but their skepticism will hang in the air, like a shadow over your ambition. And if you're not careful, that shadow can creep into your own thinking. Suddenly, you're second-guessing yourself, wondering if if maybe your idea isn't as good as you thought it was. I'm not saying you should never share your ideas or seek counsel. That's not the point. The point is to share selectively, thoughtfully, and only when the time is right and the vision is strong enough to withstand external pressure. You need to protect your vision in its early, fragile stages, like a gardener protecting young, tender plants from a harsh frost. Share your plans with trusted mentors or close allies who genuinely want to see you succeed and whose input is truly valuable. But even then, often keep the details to a minimum. Don't let your ideas become a public spectacle before they've had a chance to grow roots and gain strength in the quiet. Here's another powerful thing to consider: the element of surprise. There's a certain undeniable power in doing the unexpected, in letting your results speak for themselves. Imagine this. You've been quietly, diligently working on a significant project for months, maybe even years. You haven't said a word about it to anyone outside your small, trusted inner circle. And then, one day, you unveil it to the world. A finished product, a completed goal, a major achievement. The impact is far, far greater than if you'd been talking about it the whole time, dropping hints and previews along the way. People will marvel at what you've accomplished precisely because it seemed to come out of nowhere. It's a powerful reminder that action is always more impressive than words. I shared a story earlier about a young man who talked endlessly about starting his business but never launched, contrasted with a farmer who quietly worked and let his harvest do the talking. The lesson is clear. The less you talk, the more time and energy you have to act. The less you seek external validation, the more deep, internal confidence you build within yourself. And the less you share your plans prematurely, the more control you have over your own narrative and your own process. It's not about secrecy. It's about strategy. It's about knowing that your dreams are worth protecting and that your actions will always, without fail, speak louder than your words. How many times have you shared a plan or a goal with someone only to feel the initial surge of motivation subtly slip away afterward? How many times have you let the opinions of others, even well-meaning ones, influence your path or cause you to second-guess yourself? These are important questions because they reveal how much power we inadvertently give away when we speak too soon. But the good news is you can take that power back. You can choose to focus on action, to guard your dreams fiercely, and to let your success be the thing that speaks for you. The world is full of noise, isn't it? Opinions, distractions, unsolicited advice. They are everywhere. And when you start sharing your dreams too freely, you are actively inviting that noise, that potential negativity, into your life. You're opening the door to criticism, doubt, and even envy. These are powerful forces that can easily derail even the best-laid plans if you're not careful. Think about it. When you tell someone about your big idea, how often do they respond with genuine, unqualified enthusiasm and support? Sometimes they do, yes, but often people respond with caution, skepticism, or even subtle discouragement. They might say, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Or, "That sounds risky," or, "I knew someone who tried that, and it didn't work out." These comments might seem harmless, but they can plant insidious seeds of doubt in your mind. And doubt is a dangerous, spreading thing. It can grow quickly and choke the very roots of your ambition. But it's not just the doubters you need to watch out for. There are also the envious, the people who subtly resent your ambition because it reminds them of what they haven't accomplished themselves. They might not say it outright, but their subtle negativity, their passive dismissal, can drain your energy just the same. And then there are the well-meaning advisors, the ones who genuinely want to help but end up confusing you with conflicting opinions and overwhelming unsolicited suggestions. All of this noise, all of this external input can pull you away from your original vision, leaving you scattered, uncertain, and lacking focus. That's why discretion is so powerful. When you choose to keep your plans to yourself, you're actively protecting your focus. You're creating a quiet, sacred space where your ideas and your efforts can grow, free from the interference of others. It's like building a greenhouse for your dreams, a controlled environment where they can flourish in the right conditions until they are strong enough to face the elements of the outside world. It is absolutely important to start building momentum. Momentum is a precious, fragile thing. It's the forward motion you create when you take consistent, purposeful action toward your goals. And here's the key. Momentum thrives in silence. When you are singularly focused on doing the work, rather than talking about the work, you build a rhythm. Each small, quiet step you take reinforces the next. And before you know it, you've made significant, undeniable progress. But when you start talking about your plans prematurely, you disrupt that rhythm. You shift your focus from action to explanation, from doing to justifying. And every moment you spend explaining yourself is a moment you are not moving forward. It's like trying to drive a car while constantly stopping to show people on the sidewalk where you're going. You lose speed, you lose energy, and worse, you lose the powerful sense of purpose that comes from staying in motion. I shared the story of my friend who quietly wrote his book, 500 words a day, every day, without announcing